What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad Sean, and today reactions to the classics. We got a top 10 video of Metallica. We're going to react to their top 10 songs, courtesy of a list from our patron, friend, and longtime supporter of the channel, Josh. Josh, thanks, man.
Thanks, Josh.
We're going to get our medal on today with Metallica going in. Looking forward to this one, and I think it should be a fun video. Should be fun in the comments, seeing other people's lists as well. And before we get into the video, if you like what you see, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. That helps us out, as well as hit that big red subscribe button. We upload every single day in a wide variety of genres. And if you'd like to have us maybe react to a song, do a top 10 list, you can check out our Patreon page, which will be linked down below. And shout out to the patrons who help keep this channel running. So I guess all that upfront stuff to say, let's get into this list. Enough talk. We're gonna get into some quick facts of Metallica, but before we do that, I always like to hear what the people who brought us the list
100%.
had to say, and Josh has a unique take on it.
Yeah, I said this top 10 is of my favorite Metallica tunes. I know there will be some omissions that will anger the metalheads as well as inclusions that will cause chaos. I have my reasonings. My first taste of Metallica was back in 1996 when Load was released. I love that album, and there were a few tracks from the follow-up Reload that I enjoyed too. Here's the thing. Back in 1996, this is what I really enjoyed and kind of related to. Back in 1996, I didn't have internet to even know that they'd been around well before Load. No Wikipedia, no Spotify, no Apple Music, nothing. Which I'll jump in and say, that's when people ask, I can't believe, Sean, you've never heard this classic album. How would I? And that's what Josh is kind of saying.
And Josh is Canadian on top of that.
That, you had to learn this stuff from music magazines or by word of mouth. In conclusion, the sound they produced with Load is what I loved about the band at the time. It took me several years to embrace their prior thrash metal sound. Hope you all can forgive me, or am I unforgiven?
I like that.
There.
And just a little bit about Metallica themselves. In 2009, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, released 10 studio albums, 4 live albums, a cover record, 5 EPs, 37 singles, won 9 Grammys on 23 noms, and their last 6 studio records have debuted at #1 on the Billboard chart, and they have sold an astounding 125 million records as of 2018, so it's probably approaching 130 at this point.
Probably.
And they have been listed as one of the greatest artists of all time by many publications, including Rolling Stone, who put them at number 61. And I know 3 of the songs on this list. I don't know a lot of Metallica's
I don't know a lot of
material.
Metallica either. I was never really a fan. Josh knows this, so we'll see if this turns me.
I've listened to the whole Black album as it's known, and just a couple of their biggest hits. On the whole harder music spectrum, I'm more a punk guy. I'm just kind of lean there. Nothing against metal, but that's just what I gravitated to. So I'm excited to kind of discover these, see what we got. So let's get into this list. The music will not be on this video just due to copyright, but there will be a link in the description that has the full video with the music. And if the music was in the YouTube video, it would be approaching an hour and a half. So like to keep that a little down on YouTube. So you can check that out there. And let's get into the list. We got number 10 coming up. We're going early 80s action here. We're going the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, it's from the 1983 album Kill 'Em All. Originally written by Dave Mustaine in his former band entitled The Mechanics. It was one of Metallica's staples during their clubbing days, albeit with no melodic interlude and different lyrics. During March of '83, Lars and James confronted Mustaine about adding a more melodic section. Mustaine claims the middle interlude was inspired by Lynyrd Skynyrd's Sweet Home Alabama.
First top 10 list we ever did, man.
Exactly, though it wouldn't be added until after his removal from the band. When the band fired Dave, James took it upon himself to rewrite the lyrics into something more dark, referring to the biblical text about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse: time, famine, pestilence, and death. Though the real 4 horsemen are conquest, war, famine, and death. It details the end of the world, Trey. It was later released, though, on Megadeth's debut album, so Dave got it in there as Mechanics with a new intro and a much faster tempo. So never heard this one. Thought it was an interesting story.
All right, man. Well, looking forward to this. Thanks again, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
And,
always, brother.
Let's get rocking. All right, Four Horsemen coming in, man. Sheesh, I think that's a great opener and primer, Josh, to just get us, diving deep into Metallica and their early sound, and just kind of what we talked about. That just introduces you right away to the whole apocalyptic imagery coming in, man.
I wasn't a huge fan of it.
I know you're not huge into the whole thrash
metal, but it is a good introduction to them. I get it when you read the lyrics; it does help because you understand the atmosphere that they're trying to create. Obviously, very talented musicianship wise. So, I mean, it was fine.
No, man, I liked it more than you. I thought there were a lot of cool little tricks up in here, man. That especially I liked in the bridge where the riff was almost like the galloping of the horses.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was a nice touch. You know, I was really, really impressed not only with Kirk and his two guitar solos in here. I thought those were fantastic. But Cliff Burton, you know, the original bassist, I thought his work in here was phenomenal. Played off of Kirk very well.
Yeah.
And I just thought James delivered this in a good way. There were parts in here I was like, that sounds familiar. Was this like, you know, sampled in another song I know? But I just think it did a good job framing up the apocalyptic type of imagery we got in here.
I agree with that.
I loved the guitar work. I loved the melodic section there in the middle. I thought was a pretty a pretty good technique as well, just to switch things up a bit.
Yeah, that was nice.
So man, I dug this one, Josh. I'm liking that going up to their earlier days, and now we're gonna go to a track we're both familiar with. We have the Unforgiven from their self-titled record, often dubbed the Black Album from 1991.
Yeah, it was a single. Obviously, it deals with the theme of the struggle of the individual against the efforts of those who would subjugate him. It's since spawned two sequels in the form of Unforgiven II from the album Reload and Unforgiven III from the album Death Magnetic, which I wasn't aware of. Lars explained the band wanted to try something new with the idea of a ballad instead of the standard melodic verse and heavy chorus, as evidenced on their previous ballads Fade to Black, Welcome Home, and One. The band opted to reverse the dynamic with heavy distorted verses and a softer melodic chorus played with undistorted electric and acoustic guitars. The horn intro was essentially taken from The Unforgiven, a Western movie, and then reversed. So its source would be hidden. I love that. I think that's why the song is so iconic, because of the way they changed it up.
No, yeah, this is an unbelievable track. I really enjoy it, so let's get going. All right, The Unforgiven coming in. You like that more than the Four Horsemen?
Yeah, The Unforgiven's an absolute banger, man. Obviously, I knew that song very well. It's fantastic, man.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the again, man. I got to go to and highlight Kirk Hammett's solo and kind of reading, diving in deeper. He said that was the first time he ever did a finger picking solo.
Oh, wow, man!
You know, I don't know in his life, I doubt, but on a record.
Yeah, when the reels are running, man.
So, and just the whole concept of the song, and we talked about it, where it's heavier verses and then going into the more melodic choruses. I think that's just a kind of tried and true, something that's been done by, you always have the metal bands or whatnot. They got to have the ballad, man.
Yeah, they do, but they do it in a little different way. And I noticed it's interesting. James said that his vocal was inspired by Chris Isaak's Wicked Game. So if you're my age, you remember that song because you remember that video. He said he was used to screaming, not singing. So listening to that song over and over helped him get into that mode, because he does sound very good.
I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, that's a good point to add. James is sounding good here, and just the whole thing where this guy's been beaten down all his life. In just the whole chorus, what I felt, what I've known, never shine through in what I've shown, never be, never see, won't see what might have been. That's further kind of detailed out later on, where he's an old man looking back on his life, man. I think that's why the song maybe is a bit timeless and relatable to people who have been feeling that regret. He notes in that second verse, the fight he cannot win, he's talking about himself, a tired man they see no longer cares. The old man then prepares to die regretfully. The old man here is me, and then, in the outro, he's saying, you labeled me, well, now I'll label you. Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm going to dub you Unforgiven.
I dubbed the Unforgiven. It's,
for what you put me through, man. So that'll be in contention, man, for possibly favorite track whenever we come up at the end, and we will keep rocking now to track number 8, going back to Kill 'Em All. We're gonna go Seek and Destroy.
Yeah, and it was the first song the band recorded in a studio, so that was interesting. The song is about feeling the urge to kill, but not literally doing it. During the Kill 'Em All for One tour, Hetfield would jokingly say that it was about hunting. It is said to be heavily influenced by the Diamond Head song Dead Reckoning. Don't know them, but yeah, first song ever recorded. It's a nice little history lesson, nice choice by Josh.
All right, Seek and Destroy coming up. I don't know if it's because they have similar names, but this reminded me just kind of that raw power, no pun intended, of the Stooges' raw power, and their first track on that record is Search and Destroy, and then here in the chorus it was Searching, Seek and Destroy. It probably just triggered that in my brain.
Yeah, it's a good, I don't know, that's pretty good tie-in.
Showing just how that all connects. But that's probably just me. But anyway, I think this song fit kind of we're filming this in mid-October here. Definitely kind of had a little Halloween horror-esque type of vibe here. Did you like this or the Four Horsemen more?
I like this more.
Did you? Okay.
What about you?
I actually kind of been leaning the Four Horsemen, but I'm reading here the riff actually was from Hetfield, came up with that. And I mean, again, you had the great solo by Kirk there in the middle, and you just notice the contrasting what we just heard in the Unforgiven with this. The riffs are obviously much heavier,
definitely
much faster tempo here. And I mean, I know the Unforgiven's a more metal ballad-esque song, but it's just interesting whenever we do these top tens to hear groups and bands evolve from throughout the years.
Yeah, I agree 100%. One of my favorite things to do with them.
And so, I mean, the song's pretty darn self-explanatory, man, about, coming, we're scanning the scene in the city tonight. We're looking for you to start up a fight. There's an evil feeling in our brains, but it's nothing it drives us insane. And I can see this one being a fun one in concert if you're going, man.
I can too.
Get the mosh pit going. But we're going to go now to the record that's right after this, maybe their most acclaimed record. If not, it's right up there. We got from Ride the Lightning in 1984, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, an interesting story, and one you wouldn't expect, if you just thought early Metallica, but it was inspired by Ernest Hemingway's 1940 novel of the same name about the process of death in modern warfare in the bloody Spanish Civil War. Specific allusions are made to the scene described in chapter 27 of the book, in which 5 soldiers are obliterated during an airstrike after taking a defensive position on a hill. And interestingly, Cliff Burton plays the bass guitar introduction with heavy distortion and a wah pedal. He wrote the intro before joining Metallica and first played it during a 12-minute jam at a Battle of the Bands with his second band, Agents of Misfortune, 5 years earlier in 1979. So you write something great, man. You just got to wait a little while, and sooner or later you can plug it in somewhere.
Cool stuff, man. All right, For Whom the Bell Tolls coming in, as we mentioned in the reaction, Dad, Hell's Bells by AC/DC also utilize. It's just cool whenever the bell tolls. It's like it just kind of gets you, it perks your ears up. That's heck, man. That's maybe why the Undertaker going WWE-esque. He's got that famous intro. Kind of reminded me of that a little bit too. But I was reading they had Lars strike an anvil to get that sound.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of a unique take on this. Lyrically, probably my favorite song we've had up to this point as well.
Agreed. It starts with a huge long instrumental. Then it starts out right away. Make us fight on the hill in the early day. Constant chill deep inside. Shouting gun, on they run through the endless gray, or they fight for their right, yes, but who's to say? For a hill men would kill, why? They do not know. Stiffened wounds test their pride. Men of 5, still alive through the rage and glow. Gone insane from the pain that they surely know. So, just what I was talking about in the beginning, based off that chapter and the 5 guys, and, a lot of good stuff there. Like, why are we fighting over this hill? They don't know. They're just doing what they're told.
Exactly. I mean, so many greats have, talked about war and the, like the concept of it, why we do it. And then that second verse again brings that home a little bit here. We have, black, it just a great job setting up the imagery in here. Black and roar, massive roar fills the crumbling sky. Shattered goal, fill his soul with a ruthless cry. Stranger now are his eyes to this mystery. Hears the silence so loud. Crack of dawn, all is gone except the will to be. Now they see what will be blinded eyes to see. I like that last line, that wordplay. Blinded
Yeah,
eyes
me
to
too.
see, maybe now they're literally blinded and they see the pointlessness of war, or maybe even the blind can see how how awful this war is, whatever the case may be. Shout out to Cliff as well, again, man, because he took really the head of that instrumental intro from what I understand, and it's one of my favorite parts of this list that we've had so far, man. And now we're gonna get to Load from 1996, which Josh mentions was one of
his first.
Yeah, his favorite, one of his favorite Metallica records. We got Bleeding Me, one of the few Metallica songs that contains a Hammond organ. Interesting. I would not
have ever thought that.
Would not have put the two and two together. There's some speculation as to what the song's lyrics are about. While there are thoughts of it being about a battle with addiction, former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted believes it is about a person being put through mental torture. And James Hetfield actually explained what this was about in 2001.
Yeah, he said, around the time of Load, I felt I wanted to stop drinking. Maybe I'm missing out on something. Everyone else seems so happy all the time. I want to get happy. I planned my life around a hangover. The Misfits are playing in town Friday night, so Saturday's hangover day. I lost a lot of days in my life. Going to therapy for a year, I learned a lot about myself. There's a lot of things that scar you when you're growing up. You don't know why. The song Bleeding Me is about that. I was trying to bleed out all the bad, get the evil out. While I was going through therapy, I discovered some ugly stuff in there. A dark spot. That's some great transparency right
yeah,
there.
Man. Well, as somebody who is a professional counselor, or professional counselor to be, it's one of the things in therapy, man. Whenever you're going through, it's some people think it's just gonna get good right away, but
there's a lot of pain going through.
I like that concept that James said. You're kind of bleeding out to the bad stuff.
It's a process, man.
All right, so let's hear what we got from Load. All right, Bleeding Me coming in, man, at number six, man, at the halfway point of the list. What'd you think of this one, Dad?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. And as you said during the reaction, listening to it, knowing what it's about, it starts out right away. I'm digging my way to something better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pushing to stay with something, pushing to stay with something better. So he starts out right away doing it, and that sticks in my head, the way he sang it, and enunciated and drug it out.
And then they brought it back, I thought was cool in the third verse.
Yeah, to bring it back down after speeding it up some in the middle. Verse 2, still talks about, I am the beast that feeds the feast. I'm the blood I'm released. Come make me pure. Bleed me a cure. I'm caught under. And then the chorus is really good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you with the whole bleed me a cure, it notes in the chorus, I take the leech, I'm bleeding me. So, that whole, back in the day, when they didn't know what to do with medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Put the leeches to get the poison and the toxins out of you. Kind of what James was saying, we mentioned at the start. And I kind of like the wordplay, because he said, I can't stop to save my soul. I take the leash that's been leading me. So, a little play from the leech and the leash.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't take it. So I like the honesty in the chorus of I can't take it, and yet the just kind of, F you, I'm going to push through to stay with something. I'm pushing to stay with something better. And you mentioned it, Dad. I thought the tempo changes on this track were good. Started off slower, went to the heavier, sounds, and then kind of brought us back.
They dialed it back at the end. Yeah, a really well constructed song, and I like the transparency of it.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're going to go to the record that's right after this. We got Reload with another sequel that was already on this list. We have the Unforgiven II. Both songs have similar musical themes, and the chord progression during the verses is strikingly similar to the one used in the chorus.
That's right. I didn't even know this existed.
No, man. I'm excited to kind of dive in and see what we got. Unforgiven II coming in, man. Lots of cool throwbacks to the original, and it's kind of cool just since we just heard it a few songs ago. The original exactly. Unforgiven. This was a nice discovery, and pretty heavy song as you'd expect.
Yeah, and it did have a lot of similarities, purposely, obviously. Interesting for them to revisit. What I would say is, if it's not their biggest hit, it's right there.
Well, and then there's a third one too.
There is a third one as well. I found it when the song came on itself, that James's vocals were much more put at the front than anything that we have heard.
Much pretty clean,
much clean, clear, and to the front of the mix. So I did enjoy that difference in there.
Yeah, and going in, this guy who was our main character in the first song, now he's here. He kind of has a love interest, I guess you'd say, or I don't even know love interest.
I don't know. I think so though.
There's at least somebody else
because he's waiting for him.
Yeah, exactly. And you still have that kind of dark imagery. The door cracks open, but there's no sun shining through. Just knowing what this guy has gone through in his life, this and that. Black heart scarring, darker still, but there's no sun shining through. And then we kind of get into the nice, as you'd expect with Metallica, cool riff coming in and heavy in the chorus. Sick and tired, I stand alone. Could you be there because I'm the one who waits for you? And then I thought this was cool. Or are you unforgiven too? So he's not only asking this other person this, but I like the Unforgiven II, kind of a little shout out to the title of the track.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I enjoyed that. And it just comes into "Come lay beside me, this won't hurt, I swear. She loves me not, she loves me still, but she'll never love again. She lay beside me, but she'll be there when I'm gone."
See, I wonder, if you want to take a darker interpretation, did he kill her? Did something
I don't know,
like that
man.
happen?
I was wondering that too.
Because then, we have another solo by Kirk, which is always great, and then the third verse, "Lay beside me, tell me what I've done. The door is closed, so are your eyes." So again, kind of pointing, something's maybe a little bit off, or maybe he's just noting, hey, maybe we can kind of be unforgiven together and kind of escape the world in a sense. And then at the very end you also had the cool little backing vocals that were, so I dubbed the Unforgiven throwback to the first one.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I thought it was really a good tune, man.
And now we're gonna throw it back. 1986, first appearance, I believe, right on
yes, it is.
on this list. We got "Master of Puppets," the title track from the record from 1986, only single from the album, notable for its extensive use of downpicking and long instrumental section. Clocks in at about 8.5 minutes, the longest track on this list.
Yeah, and James just basically explained, deals pretty much with drugs, how things get switched around. Instead of you controlling what you're taking and doing, it's drugs controlling you. So that's pretty cool right there.
And I know this is one of Metallica's most famous songs. I see here that it might be their most performed song in their entire career.
Wow.
I did know the whole master part, but that's the only part I knew. I don't know how I knew that, but it was cool to kind of delve into this. And honestly, man, one of the most powerful songs in the sense of a drug song, since it's from the point of view really the whole time from the drugs themselves.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. I thought the instrumentation was perfect for what it is. Kind of the frantic sometimes of this is what I'm doing. I'm taking you over. End of passion play crumbling away. I'm your source of self-destruction. Veins that pump with fear. Sucking darkest clear. Leading on your desk's construction.
And that's just the first verse,
that's
man.
The first verse.
Puts you in right away.
Then we go to a refrain. Taste me, you will see more is all you need, dedicated to how I'm killing you.
Ooh.
Then the pre-chorus, this is where it kind of comes in. Come crawling faster, faster, obey your master. Your life burns faster, faster, obey your, and then
master,
that chorus.
Master. And then it notes the master of the puppets. The master's the drug. The puppets are all the people under its influence. Man, master's pulling the strings, twisting the mind, smashing the dreams. Just call my name, 'cause I'll hear you scream. And then again, kind of put some imagery, just like what drug addicts go through to do to get their fix and whatnot. And then we had an instrumental bridge which slowed us down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought that was well done. It was, 4 minutes into the song, and then right afterwards, it was you got the bridge again, then a cool yet again guitar solo by Kirk, kind of going up and down, winding up and down. I thought that was kind of cool. This would be an epic Guitar Hero song. Right here.
It would be. That's what I was thinking.
I like to in one of these bridges you actually do get the addict's perspective, saying, "Master, you promised only lies," and then he's saying, "Fix me," type of deal. But it's probably already too late from what we have here. And then we have the laughter at the end, which maybe I don't know, maybe that's what happens when you're on the drugs for this person, or maybe the drug is just laughing at this person.
Laughing at him like I got control. Yeah, a wonderfully written song for such a serious subject, nicely done.
Well, and I think for how, even though it's 8.5 minutes, I think for how fast the song is, it kind of fits well with our short attention span age. Like, even though it's a long track,
I agree.
Threw a bunch of different stuff in there.
And I think they do a really good job of varying the tempo on those guitar solos, like you mentioned. They've done it several times on these songs, and a smart way to go about it.
Well, that brings us to our top three, ladies and gentlemen, and we are both familiar with this next track.
Yes.
We have Nothing Else Matters, again, from their self-titled record. It was a single, went to 6th in the UK, top 10 in many other European charts. And James wrote the song in 1990 while he was on the phone with his then-girlfriend. Since he held the phone with one hand, he plucked the 4 open strings of a standard E minor chord with the other, which eventually made up the first 2 bars of the song.
Couldn't do anything else, man. He's over here.
Song inspiration comes from everywhere.
It does.
The lyrics, which talk about being, quote, so close no matter how far, were also dedicated to his girlfriend, indicating the bond that they shared even when James was on tour. Initially, the song was not meant to be released, as James had written it for himself, but after Lars heard it, it was considered for the record.
Yeah, and it's one of the few Metallica songs in which James actually plays a guitar solo. Kirk does not play on the studio recording, making it one of the few in the whole Metallica repertoire, along with Cliff Burton's Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, in which he does not appear. Kirk stated he did not learn how to play the song until they were well into the tour for the album. So I'm like, well, what else did you do then when the song was on?
Interesting, man. So this is, again, kind of a little slower, Unforgiven-esque at a certain point.
Yeah,
so,
agree.
Cool track here, man. All right, Nothing Else Matters coming in, man. I like that this is kind of James's, obviously as the lead vocalist, you get a lot of chances to shine, but since the song is so personal to him and you have his solo, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Being personal is great. And I think even when they do, you could say, like, the lyrics at least are ballad-like, yet they can bring a harder edge to it.
Yeah.
Yet not the hard edge that they bring to their other stuff. But, it makes it stand out and not just some standard ballad a lot of harder groups do. It's almost haunting in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, that's a word I was going to use for this, man. And you even had a little orchestral section in here as well. I always enjoy when that comes in this tune. And and the only time it really gets like heavy is just that short and loud James guitar solo, which that's about it, and then we close it out.
He probably wanted to get it all out. Man.
Yeah, I don't blame him, man. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed his solo, and lyrically, I think it really does. Even though it's personal to James, you can apply it, I think, to a lot of different situations in your life, whether it's a love interest kind of, where you're far away, kind of got the long distance going on, and, James is kind of, I think, going out and that here, just how the touring life has made it tough for some some relationships, just being away, man, and then maybe just some personal stuff. Never cared for what they do, never cared for what they know, but I know, and then it goes in forever trusting who we are and nothing else matters. I kind of like that message of
I do too.
A message of hope after we've had a lot of heavy topics, which I like me some heavy topics, man. But
we're about to have some heavy topics when we're done with this song as well.
No, sometimes you need a good ballad-esque type tune.
Yeah.
And now we are up to number 2. We're going Fade to Black, the last song on this list that we are familiar with from Ride the Lightning. Throwing it back to 1984, ranked as the 24th best guitar solo ever by Guitar World readers.
Yeah, the lyrics address suicidal feelings, Trey, so we're definitely, needless to say, back to serious stuff. James commented on the song in 1991. That song was a big step for us. It's pretty much our first ballad, so we knew it would freak people out recording that song. I learned how frustrating an acoustic guitar can be. You could hear every squeak, so I had to be careful. I wrote the song at a friend's house in New Jersey. I was pretty depressed at the time because our gear had just been stolen, and we had been thrown out of our manager's house for breaking stuff and drinking his liquor cabinet dry. It's a suicide song, and we got a lot of flack for it, as if kids were killing themselves because of the song. But we also got hundreds of letters from kids telling us how they related to the song, and it made them feel better. So it's one of those things. Be careful how you judge art when you just go and jump into it. Oh, well, they shouldn't have wrote this song because of what he said there. Tons of kids said it made him feel better.
No, exactly. And I mean, I was never familiar with this until we heard it on a live stream some months ago. But fantastic tune, man. So let's get into it. Fade to Black coming in, man. Just what a powerful song.
It is, and the less is more philosophy on lyrics.
No, definitely. I mean, this is probably, if you made me pick my favorite Metallica song, which I know isn't a hot take or anything, but I just think it does everything that the group does well and combines it together and kind of wraps it up in a bow with that amazing solo that we have at the very end.
Yeah, I agree. And very early on, Metallica, they had it figured out. Now, on part of it, when it gets a little quiet on the riff, did you notice? I mean, I heard it. I mean, maybe I'm hearing things. The little Unforgiven riff that was already in there. Did you
right.
Hear that?
Yeah. It, now that you mention it, it did seem a little familiar.
7 years before they had the Unforgiven, but there's a little bit of it in there. But I mean, the lyrics themselves is they're not very long. We can read them all really, because verse 1 just starts out: "Life it seems will fade away, drifting further every day, getting lost within myself. Nothing matters, no one else. I have lost the will to live, simply nothing more to give. There's nothing more for me. Need the end to set me free." Then we go to verse 2.
Yeah, man, and I just like the transparency on this.
Yeah.
And as you're reading it, it's not pro suicide or anything, but it's just honest, man. It's people have these feelings, man, and you're not gonna hear this on a on a top 40 radio at the time or anything. But he said, "Things not what they used to be, missing one inside of me, deathly lost. This can't be real. Cannot stand this hell I feel. Emptiness is filling me to the point of agony, growing darkness, taking dawn. I was me, but now he's gone." That was maybe my favorite line in there. I was me, but now he's gone.
And then they just go to a bridge. There's no real chorus in there. No one but me can save myself, but it's too late. Now I can't think why I should even try. Yesterday seems as though it never existed. Death greets me warm. Now we'll just say goodbye, goodbye. And then the outro. So, I mean, I can see how people take that last part, and get upset, because that part you could interpret if you wanted to as going, this is the answer. But I don't think it's what they're getting to there either. No. It's just like, sometimes you have those times in your life, man, where it's like, wow.
Just James, and I think that's one of maybe Hetfield's biggest strengths as a lyricist, as we've gone through this, is kind of put into words those dark feelings that many people have at depressing or difficult times in their life. And I mean, I know James has faced a lot of hardship, which leads us to our number one tune on here. And Josh, great job constructing this list. I'm looking forward to hearing this one. We have Until It Sleeps from Load in 1996. A little bit about the chart success. It was the band's first number one song on the U.S. Billboard Hot Mainstream Rock chart. Say that 10 times fast. As well as their own first and only song, which is
this shocks me.
Yeah, to hit the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 10. Yeah, I can't believe they never had another tune go higher than that. But obviously, Metallica is a worldwide band, topped the charts in Australia, Denmark, Finland, Hungary, and Sweden.
Yeah, the lyrics of the song, written by James, addresses his mother's battle with cancer, to which the quote "it" in the title refers to. They can be seen as either describing the emotional pain he feels for the loss or the physical pain his mother was feeling while she was ill. Both of his parents were Christian scientists and did not believe in medicine. The lyrics are also interpreted as dealing with anger issues. His father, Virgil, died late in 1996 during Metallica's Load tour. They were obviously big in the MTV world. The video of the song won the MTV Video Music Award for the Best Rock Video in 96. And the song won a 1996 Metal Edge Reader's Choice Award for Song of the Year. I have never heard this song either.
Me neither. All right, number one coming in with Until It Sleeps. And, a bit different than a lot of the other tracks on the list. We didn't have any solo.
No.
It was still heavy at certain points, but a lot of clean guitar tones at different portions of the song as well. Not as crunchy in the riffs and whatnot, but you still have the heavy subject matter in here too.
Yeah, and I thought James sounded a little different lyrically in his delivery. Not a ton, but Yeah, and I mean, it just starts out right away in the intro. Where do I take this pain of mine? I run, but it stays right by my side. I just thought those two lines open the song. I mean, what a
Yeah.
to write about your mom's cancer battle and what all that entails, and watching somebody go through that, and then she ends up passing away from it. Had to be unbelievable. So for him to put it down in writing, you mentioned it earlier. Like, he's really a underrated lyricist in writing about, like,
You're right, man.
what is the most important things you can write about, things that are, near and dear to your heart, man. So tear me open and pour me out. There's things inside that scream and shout, and the pain still hates me. So hold me until it sleeps.
And and I kind of like how we mentioned at the start, this could either be interpreted, I think, and I was kind of getting this as I was reading, either as his mother with the cancer, or James's pain dealing with all the stuff he's gone through.
Yeah, and for me, I guess I interpret it as James's, but you could definitely interpret it either way.
That's what I lean toward as well. But especially here, you just kind of get the just the emotion coming through, a grip, or just the gravity of the situation. It grips you, so hold me. It stains you, so hold me. It hates you, so hold me. It holds you, so hold me, until it sleeps. There you had kind of the backing vocals and the headphones, that a little throwback to Unforgiven on that one. And then, the questioning, so tell me why you've chosen me, don't want your grip, don't want your greed. Then you go to the, kind of extreme, I'll tear me open, make you gone, no more can you hurt anyone. I thought that was, again, a very powerful line. And that kind of, then he notes at the very end, and the hate still shapes me, so hold me until it sleeps. So, again, pretty bleak song, as you would expect with the subject matter and what it came from. But I can see, especially since Josh, this was his first intro to the band, why he put this at 1 due to its sound, its subject matter, and just all around excellence of the tune, man. So that'll take us now to our favorite tracks. We got 10 tracks here. A lot of varying styles in here as well. I like that Josh kind of put a little bit from, I don't know, we had 5-6 different records on here. Sometimes on these top 10s, sometimes an artist only has 2 good albums, so that predominates. But not here with Metallica. I like how, Josh, this was a personal list. Didn't have Enter Sandman on here.
That's what I was going to address. Yeah, no Enter Sandman. And
no one,
and I respect that, man. It's a personal top 10 list, and just because songs are huge hits doesn't mean it's their best songs. I mean, they very well may be to you, but I'm just saying, I think you did a really good job. You have varying stuff up. So what do you got for your top 3?
Well,
I actually have a little race over here. I'm not sure.
Easy for me. Fade to Black is in there, very solid. Then I'm gonna go for Whom the Bell Tolls, and I guess I'll go with going for a more. I'm trying to think. I'll go lean toward the Unforgiven as my third one coming in here. I mean, Nothing Else Matters was in the running, as was the Four Horsemen, actually.
Yeah, Josh said maybe he could make me a fan. I don't know that I'm a fan now with Metallica, but I do like some of their music more than just the limited amount I'd ever heard it. And I've got the list over here. That's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to decide, which is a good sign.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to decide because I can't find 3 I like. I have a lot more than 3 I like. I'm gonna have to go with The Unforgiven, which obviously is kind of stereotypical. I knew the song really well. I'm gonna go with Bleeding Me.
It's always tough when you get to that third one and there's a few vying in there.
And I'm gonna go with For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Hey, that was a banger.
I mean, I
man.
also had Master of Puppets in there. Nothing Else Matters, Fade to Black, and Until It Sleeps. I mean, I guess I had a lot of them in there, but I'm gonna go with those 3.
Well, man, I think again, just as we wrap up here, be sure to give us your list down at the bottom. And I mean, this highlights. I mean, Metallica. They're in that short list of greatest bands in America.
They are.
Just whenever
you said this recently, it caused some controversy on a live stream, but you're 100% right.
With the critical acclaim, especially of their early records, they, on the reg have some of the highest touring, grossing
longevity,
sellouts.
man.
They got the longevity, the influence. I mean, probably the most. Obviously, I think they're up there with Sabbath. Whenever you're talking, heavy metal bands, as influence just in general, and just the album sales, 125 million records sold. Man, not not bad if I do say so myself. So, as always, Dad, appreciate the research. Appreciate you, Josh, for bringing us this list. And until next time, thanks for watching. Happy listening, and we will see ya.